you're a beginner looper, you need to watch this video. I've spent the last 2 years building up a live looping music stream and have learned things the hard way. So I want to make it easy for you by sharing 5 things I wish I'd known. To be fair, becoming a looper is amazing, and I know that if you follow these tips, you will be wowing audiences and inspiring crowds in no time. Stick around to the end of the video for my final energizing tip, and smash that like button if you're fired up. Let's go! Number 1, my timing is terrible. I'm going to start with the most embarrassing tip first. I'm a drummer, and I like to think that I'm pretty good. So when I picked up my first loop pedal and started playing, I was really surprised. I was terrible at the timing. But wait, I can read music and I can play complex time signatures like 7/8. Shut up. The looping gods don't care. You must worship at the shrine of looping and never darken our door again. But seriously, this was a shock to me, and if you're a beginner looper, I want to make sure that you're prepared. However good you think you are at timing, if you haven't started looping yet, you're probably a little bit worse than you think. But never fear, my young Padawans, you will soon be a full loop Jedi, ready to take down the Death Star with your galactic loops. Or something. So, actionable tip. Bring metronome training into your practice regime. Do it now before you start looping, or do it now even if you've already started looping. All you need is 5 minutes per day, which is nothing, right? And here's the trick. Take one of the riffs you're going to be doing in your looping and practice that against the metronome. I promise you will find this makes a massive difference in your looping. If you're struggling with the timing of when to press the loop pedal, check out my quick YouTube short, which will help you. Number 2, but nobody cares. Literally, no one cares. Your mum doesn't care, your gran doesn't care. The people in the pub you're about to perform to don't care. Since Ed Sheeran wowed the world with his live looping skills, there has been an explosion in the number of people looping. Hell, watching him perform at Glastonbury in like 2015 was one of the reasons I wanted to start looping. But now, the market is saturated. On the other side of the coin, the loop pedal you've just bought is the most exciting thing in the world to you, and you're ready to get it out and show it to people. It's a bit like when you've got that drummer in your band waxing on about his new bass drum pedal. I mean, how boring is that? I would never do that. Right, Dave? Dave? Actionable tip. Really, the best thing you can do is play it cool. Don't go on about your new skill or your boss RC62514. Treat looping as part of your setup. It's really just another bit of your kit. Focus on developing the skills that will get you good at looping, and then you don't need to say it. People will come up to you and ask you if they're interested, and then feel free to geek out as much as you like. To be honest, I think it's quite a good life skill anyway, playing it cool. Number 3. It's like learning a whole new musical instrument. So this really surprised me. I've been banging on about it already. I'm a drummer, yada yada yada. So I use all 4 of my limbs to play my instrument. Yeah. So what happened when I was playing the guitar and trying to play the loop pedal? Well, it was pretty much the cross between a dog's dinner and a piss up in a brewery, whatever that looks like. Adding a loop pedal to your setup is like learning to play a new musical instrument. And I think I know why. It's all about coordination. As humans, we're really good at using our muscle memory. And as guitarists, you will have learnt your instrument using your arms. You might have done a bit of out of time tapping or smashed a distortion pedal every now and again, but you've never had to control your leg in this way before. You've got to press down on the loop pedal in beat 1, push down again at the end of the riff. You might be playing a downstroke or an upstroke on your guitar. Adding this extra leg is hard, and you need to treat it the same way you treated learning the guitar all those years ago. Actionable tip. If you're new to looping, I would do this. Write out the parts of your song in order. This is the arrangement. Work out when you need to press the loop pedal and write those points into the arrangement. Both start, stop, plus any undos or redos that you might be doing. Then play the whole piece of music following that arrangement you've just set out, just like someone would if they were practicing for a graded exam. Do this a few times until you feel comfortable. Ultimately, you've got to get your muscles to remember what they're doing and when. You gotta love your muscles. Mwah. So beautiful. Mwah. Mwah. Number 4. You need to practice. In a way, from tips 1, 2 and 3, you've probably realised this is a key theme coming through. In fact, I would go as far as to say in my 5 years of teaching music and all my YouTube videos, I've probably said the word practice about 1 trillion times. And with looping, it's a necessity. In the early days of looping, expect to put significant hours into practicing those songs. This is the only way to get good. I mean, if you've ever watched Ed Sheeran, you'll get it. He seriously practices so hard before each tour, and every song I've ever seen him play, he knows inside out. My rule of thumb for practice is that you need to play a song at least 10 times in full after you've learnt them before you're ready to perform it. And that probably will do as my actionable tip. Efficient. Number 5, my final tip. Looping is fun. Finally, and most importantly, looping is fun. Looking back on tips 1 to 4, they're a bit negative. They focus on the difficulties you may face and the things you might need to work on to become a great looper. But I want to finish on a positive. In my opinion, you will struggle to find a musical activity that is as inspiring and as enjoyable as looping. It is useful for practicing, soloing, learning songs, songwriting, and it actively makes you play your songs better. I love the element of improvisation and chance that flows through in loop songs, so I think it's clear that I love live looping. To be fair, I've devoted a YouTube channel to it, and I really hope this is coming across and inspiring you. So, my actual tip is buy a loop pedal today and start looping. Oh yeah, and subscribe to this channel so I can keep shouting looping tips at you. I hope these tips are useful, but there is more. You need to learn the skill of arranging and performing songs. I've created this video which takes you through the parts of the Ed Sheeran song Don't, which will help you learn a relatively easy looping song, which you can go and watch now.